So I just finished binging the Pokemon Sun and Moon dub. I had seen so much praise for this new entry to the franchise, I couldn't stay away any longer. I mean, I love Pokemon. What you've heard is true, by the way. It is by far the most impressively animated season of the entire Pokemon saga. It is impossibly cheery and sunny, placing you into a cocoon of good feelings. The characters are a serum for sorrow, filling you with joy and hope for the world. The jokes are way out there, off-the-wall, unhinged craziness that leaves you in abject shock most of the time, which I love, but still, the show somehow feels exactly like Pokemon. I intensely enjoyed my experience watching this. It was a perfect ray of sunshine on my life during its duration. Well, almost perfect. Unfortunately, the showmakers decided to stain this ray of hope with a sin-soaked, pencil-pushing, number-crunching, shill-streaking abomination. Episode 3 will live in infamy.
And that means Rotom Dex is excellent!
I have several problems with this character, enough to base a whole video on its many crimes. Treat this as my way of satiating the concentrated desire to punch Rotom Dex in the face and shove it into a locker. Yes, I wish to bully it. I wish to cause it harm, and due to it being fictional, I resort to cyberbullying its conception with a video. Let me share the ways. Let me spread out on the figurative table my evidence to persecute this autistic, clippy imposter. Oh, and I know how much our Rotom boy loves evidence and data, so let's start with that. The good old data boy. This archetype was just implemented in the last series, X and Y with Clemont. A nerdy, data-focused, robot-loving electric geek who also built his own robot that too filled the void as the exact same character. At least Clemont had an adorable little sister to keep him in line. Rotom Dex is untethered. Actually, this series also has that exact archetype with Sophocles, who does electric-type experiments and data collecting and inventor things. Rotom Dex's entire character and personality is redundant in both the series as a whole and the current show he exists within, making him just a regurgitation of similar jokes you could do with the much more likable and better named Sophocles. The consequence of such a character isn't that he can inexplicably invent some amazing machinery or circumvent some obstacle using their impossibly vast and deep technological knowledge, which often is just lazy writing, but with Rotom Dex specifically, he constantly is at odds with the show's message. Rotom Dex is often seen generating arbitrary percentages of how likely success for our characters will be achieved, like his percentages are ever based in anything or matter to their actual chances. It is such a stupid addition to any conversation to spend any time talking about percentages that often even don't make sense as percentages, tends to hinder the adventurous aspect that episode is attempting to convey.
5 hours have passed since we began our search. The chances of finding it now are 0.3%, but our current chances of finding Oricorio are down to 8%. Impossible! Its expansion is 150% bigger than normal! The probability of finding a Pokemon in this forest has increased to 96.5%!
I compute a less than 1% chance of success. Do you wish to proceed? Yes! Why are you here? Why should we as an audience ever know that? Is that supposed to build tension? Like, oh, Rotom Dex said they have less than 1% chance, so that's actually how it works. Wow, they did it. They had a 99% failure rate. That's pretty unlikely. It's a written show. Yeah, we're 20 seasons in. You don't think we know it's illogical? Like, seriously, shut up. We get it. It's Pokemon. The theme of Pokemon, and the anime especially, is to just try your hardest to be number one. It was never to analyze the data and discuss percentages. I'm just beside myself with anger. Like, Rotom Dex's entire purpose as a character is to be an idiot commenter.
Some statistics have shown when asked if they like to go shopping, over 87% of women answered they really like it, or they at least don't mind it one bit.
It just pops in to erroneously criticize and present retarded, meaningless facts to support his side and consistently is proven wrong by the show's theme. The biggest problem is it's in every episode. Like, it's always there because his function is as Ash's Pokedex. He always has to have some out-of-place comment that completely takes you out of the show, or when he's not doing that, he's creepily photographing people. In the Sun and Moon games, I appreciated the Rotom Dex inclusion. It really added personality to an otherwise lifeless feature. It never once discussed how you should proceed or your chance of success. It was just there to support your goal of catching all the Pokemon. It would call you Bucko and would buzz a lot and make robot puns. I liked it. I would have never thought Rotom could actually have such an annoying personality. They're cool little creatures that live in machines, not party-pooping, fangasming geeks who constantly speak in emojis. When Rotom-Dex puts on that wig, I just want it dead. You clearly got the world's worst Rotom to inhabit this device. Why, out of all the character traits you could give this Rotom, you gave him an autistic love of an Alolan detective show where he'll dress up as the main guy Locky and just becomes the worst thing in anime?
Ash, do you want to know who the culprit was? If you really, really want to know, I'd be glad to tell you.
I'm tired. Can you tell me tomorrow?
Alolan Detective Locky is starting in just 17 minutes and 30 seconds, give or take a few.
The DVR will record it.
That's true, but watching it live and then recorded is what a true Locky fan would do. See you later.
Not one character bounces off of Rotom well. They all seem to dislike him. No one cares what he has to say ever. He's constantly ignored, and when he's not there, the show is just plain flows better. In the future, I might talk about the Pokemon anime again, but I needed to get this off my chest. If you follow me on Twitter, you would have got to see my hatred for this character build in real time as I watch the show, which has now birthed an entire video about it. I truly recommend the show, but just be forewarned of the vile sin blotting an otherwise perfect experience.